call that radio. You call that radio TV. No. You call that radio TV.
We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us and people of conscience to lose our morale.
You call that radio.
Jacking on my heels, out of sight. Bust off a bar garage. A candle and ties. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening. I'm a bit confused. I'm having a wee bit of technical issues today. So as I speak to you, I have these headphones to speak to my guest. I have 2 cameras. Wait there, where do we go? Where is he? There's 2 of me. And we've got a real guest as well. We've got the amazing Justin, an American filmmaker. And just going to put this out there before I bring him on. Is anyone getting any ideas why I can't hear people through my headphones? So these are my real headphones. But it's just really quiet. I couldn't hear him when he was talking. So I've got Joe's phone set up here. And I'm going to listen through these headphones when it's time to listen to what Justin's saying. So I've got kind of 2 phones, 2 headphones. You know, I'm a bit confused. So if anyone can figure out that, why would that be? I was recording a podcast today, so I feel like I've pressed a button. But I've turned my audio gain up, I've turned my monitor mix up. So, but yeah, if there's any tech people out there who know why I can't hear my guest through my normal headphones, then feel free to enlighten me. But I'm excited. We've got I've got a proper filmmaker here tonight, all the way from the United States of America. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna learn some stuff, and we're gonna go live to the USA. This is You Call That Radio TV.
You call that radio. You call that radio TV. No. You call that radio TV.
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio TV. As always, if you're watching this on Facebook, then get on to YouTube. It looks better and sounds better over there. YouTube.com/You Call That Radio. If you're on Twitch, subscribe. If you've got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. It costs you nothing. But big Jeff Bezos has got to give us £2.50 a month out of his trillions. So you can do that. And this show, we've got no sponsors. It's all funded by the Patreon. So thank you to everyone who is a patron. If you're not a patron yet and you'd like to support, then it's patreon.com/You Call That Radio. And thanks last night's guest, who was Darren Loki McGarvey. That was an amazing show. You can watch that after this one. Tomorrow night, we have My Bad Sister, the Cabaret Joe, who toured with the Pet Shop Boys for 18 months. And they've been on reality TV shows. And they're a banging festival band as well. Thursday, we've got Chris Herron, the gonzo journalist from New Hellfire Club. Things should get fairly psychedelic fairly quickly with Chris. And then on Friday, we've got Joy Franz, who retired as a teacher to become a battle rapper. From retired teacher to international battle rapper. And, you know, she's done loads of TED Talks and stuff as well, because she's like, just against all odds, against all the stereotype, but she just does what she wants. And then Saturday we've got Amelia Baylor, live from Capture Works. And Sunday we've got the Creative Martyrs, live from Capture Works. If you'd like to see us go back to Capture Works for Christmas, then we just need to get the Patreons up to 200. Let us know who you'd like to see, because it'd be good to do a wee Christmas special. You're late. You give me a fright, babes. Sorry. Some technical issues. Showing off, says Tam the Van. Two heads are better than yin. When are we getting the bow ties on the llamas? Yes, we're getting the bow ties on the llamas on Monday. I think it's Monday. Bow ties on llamas. We're going to go live to America. Justin, can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear. I hear you. How you doing over there?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just going to need to be quite flexible here, agile, because I have to take my headphones off while I'm talking, because I can hear like an echo as I speak, which is going to throw me off. In fact, you know what? All I need to do is mute myself.
I can't.
Yeah, I just need to not have the headphones on. But I would like to ask you, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing fantastic. I love the intro to the show. This is a whole new world, man. I love being here.
This is a whole new world. Is this the first time you've ever been to Glasgow, Scotland?
Indeed it is. Yeah, we were in Ireland last year. We made some friends from Glasgow, and they told us to come back, but I didn't know it was going to happen this way.
It's a strange year. You know, there's not really much happening outside in Glasgow anyway. If you look out the window, there's nothing. There's no music. There's no pubs, and that's really quite important to Glasgow's survival.
Yeah, just from not only making money, but that's part of your culture, right? I think more so than what we have here. The pub life is a little bit different.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Fresno, California. I'm in dead center of California, a haven of.
Well, you don't need to rely on pubs, because if you got weed, if you legalized cannabis.
Yeah, it's different per county, but here in Fresno, at least, all you got to do is get a little doctor's note, and that's pretty easy to get. I don't think that's even a thing anymore. And then if you go one state up north of us, then they are decriminalizing all drugs, essentially. So not legalizing, but decriminalizing, slap on the wrist for most things, if that. So yeah, things are rapidly changing around here on the West Coast.
That's about time, innit?
Yeah,
people for these things.
Yeah, I don't want to put people in jail for things that they're only doing to themselves, but I want to worry about the externalities of such things and get money back to the government, back to the people, whoever it happens to be, when you cause harm to the rest of society. But if you're only doing it to yourself, then I suppose we need to let you, because putting you in jail is not helping that situation anyway. You're just causing yourself more harm. That's sort of what I'd have to say. It's a big topic.
So do you just sort of say to them, like the doctor, to get a doctor's note, you just say, I need to chill out. And they say, right, cool.
My back, everything sucks, man. It's hard to live right now, so I need some weed to carry me through. And they're like, all right, cool, do it. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't smoke, so I don't know. But I've talked to many people who do, and they said it's not so big of a deal. That's my understanding. And I think you might be able to get it online now, too. I'm not sure about that, but I think during COVID era, they probably have other ways to do it rather than just having it strictly go into a doctor's office.
And let's forget about legalized marijuana for a second. Let's talk about legalizing Lego, because you've got a film coming out called but it's not called Lego. I think Lego were trying to sue you.
Oh, we didn't get to that part. We didn't even bother having them have the opportunity to sue us, because we just want to call it Brick Madness. So it's the name of the movie is Brick Madness. It's available on DVD and Blu-ray as of a week ago. So yeah, kicking it off here.
It's out now.
Yeah, it's not available everywhere, but it's available. If you go to our distributor's website, you can buy discs. So that's basically how it's going right now. It will be available on Amazon. You'll be able to buy it there on the 22nd of December. That's our next major date. What's that? A month from today almost? Yeah, a month from 2 days ago.
Okay, let's have a little look at it. We've got a wee trailer.
Yeah.
This has been in the making for a long time.
11 years. Yeah, I've been working on it forever, man, since 2009.
11 years.
Yeah. it's quite the situation I put myself into, and the whole rest of the team to keep them lagging on for that long. It was basically done 8 years ago, more or less, and then we've been trying to secure distribution and figure that out. And Little Sister stepped in and really made this a reality to get it out there to everyone, which is great.
Brilliant stuff, man. We're going to cut to the trailer.
Love it.
This is... Oh, and here we go.
Whoa! Are you guys are that filming? You guys are making a documentary about bricks, yeah?
Let the celebration begin.
This is awesome!
My name is Cedric Donovan. I'm here in Fresno, California, making a documentary about the bricks world.
As we crown a new Bricks National Champion.
So do you have any heavy favorites in this competition?
Heavy favorites. Ricky 6.
I've been hearing an awful lot about this Ricky character. Who is he?
Who's Ricky?
You and your crew are formally invited to celebrate the last days of the legend, Ricky 6, and the dawn of Ricky 7.
I already told you I'm gonna be Ricky 50, and then I'll stop.
I'm a big Ricky 6 fan.
Ricky has experience. Ricky knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the crowd. He knows how to work the judges. He knows the system.
When you're the best at something, am I just supposed to walk around and pretend like anyone can touch what I do? Come on, it's ridiculous.
That's what Ricky looks like. That's amazing. He's stupid.
Ricky's trying to tromp on your territory, right? Seems like kind of a turd.
Is that with a O or an A?
It's an A.
Yeah, I already put an O, so it's good.
Ricky 6 is not Max Grand. I guess he's the best replacement.
Max Grand, really? We're still talking about this guy.
He was the godfather of bricks before there was even a family tree.
He's a legend.
Max freaking Grand. Oh my gosh, like Lord of Bricks.
Win from 98, win from 99. The dude had to cheat last time just to level the playing field.
Gluing. They accused him of gluing.
When my hero gets accused of something like that, that killed me.
Okay, I'm not talking about the incident.
You guys don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Do you?
Yeah, this is your first time. What do you know?
I'm Seth Paxson.
Seth Paxson!
Up and comer, came out of nowhere.
I mean, that's really it. Nobody knows Seth.
You're in charge of like a school program, right?
What's your name, little dude?
Nicholas Grandiminian.
Wait. You say that again, one more?
This is Max Grand's little nephew, Nicholas.
I want Seth. I'm hoping that he's gonna bring it.
Okay, let's start again.
Okay, let's start again.
Compliments from the gentleman in the corner.
I gotta win. I gotta beat him.
That showdown right there means everything. Everything. Everything.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be in the bricks tournament. I'm gonna be just like you.
That's inconceivable. Next.
How do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century? How do we do that, given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week? Every country on Earth is trying to figure out how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do we square that circle?
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
I have the idea of speaking to just less, Justin.
Say it again?
Oh, yeah, you can't hear me.
No, I got you now. No, I'm solid.
You cool? Cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, I think we'll just do this. just do it this way. It's much
Works
better,
for
man.
me.
Because, yeah, man, there was just this echo going off every time I was talking there. So yeah, man, that the movie looks amazing, man. In 11 years, I mean, how does that even? Did the people age throughout the movie? I mean, how does that even work?
Well, I mean, we shot most of it before, say, 2014 or so, and a lot of the rest of it was me figuring out the time to edit and get it all solved and fix these little things, like do little pickups, they call them. So little additional scenes, little fixes. Most of the people probably we only shot over the course of like a 4 or 5 year, maybe 5 year sketch. But we were worried about that, you know, them wearing the right clothes and having the right hair and all that stuff, obviously. But I think we did a decent amount job of making it look like it was the same time, hopefully.
And also because it's, it's Lego people, so they doesn't need to be, bricks people. They might not necessarily be wearing the most up-to-date fashion anyway, like myself.
It could be, right? These the people with the characters we have within the movie, they're definitely into their own little world, you know. And I don't know if that's representative of everyone in that world, but it definitely is in ours. And so it's okay if they're a bit behind. Yeah, it's okay.
So can you say the word Lego, or do you just got to avoid the word Lego all the time?
I've never heard anyone say that is a specific problem to say it or anything like that. It's just, I don't think you want to put it in print, and you don't want to advertise anything with that word in it, because that's only going to get you more trouble, maybe. So whenever you go to conventions around the world, there are always bricks conventions, brick conventions, something around that. And they don't really ever use the word Lego. But Lego always sponsors those things. So you see Lego everywhere. You see the actual logo and all that stuff. But yeah, different deal. Just be cool with it. Don't try to make money off of it, and I think you're fine.
So what was inspiration behind it? What made you decide to start doing it?
I always loved Lego as a kid, and we wanted to make a movie that we could shoot fairly quickly. That was the intent at the time in 2009. Obviously, that backfired a little bit, but we thought it would be fun to do a mockumentary. I love mockumentaries, Christopher Guest movies, that sort of thing. And we're like, well, we got the crew, we have all that. If we just incorporate that into the idea, then we'll be able to crank out something pretty quick. We could do a lot of improv scenes. As we developed it, we realized that we liked the idea a little bit more than we would get out of just doing straight improv, and then we would have to manufacture it a little bit more, write it out, and get it dialed in. So we went about that process, and that snowball kept getting bigger as it went down the mountain, and then started tumbling in all our deadlines and all our ideas of getting it done quickly. And so here we are.
Who's an example of someone who inspired the concept of the mockumentary for you? Is there any mockumentaries that you've seen before that you enjoyed that kind of made you want to do it?
Yeah, definitely. So Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, Spinal Tap, those sorts of Christopher Guest movies, I think, led to it a lot. There's some other TV shows that were maybe examples of it at the time that were just starting. I forget exactly when the U.S. office started, but you got the British office too. Those are mockumentaries, so there's something a little there, a little dry, a little slow, very sort of mundane, real life stuff. We try to tap into that a bit without having to be boring, obviously. Yeah, those are some inspirations. And then just the type of comedy that I like, that it's not too in your face. It's a little, it's reality, but heightened, and with the boring bits cut out, as Hitchcock would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's been so much of, over the years, in Britain especially, you know, we kind of think of things like Brass Eye in the 90s, Brass Eye and various other things, but now it's most of the best comedies. Like, you've got your Larry Davids and stuff like that in America as well. And it just, for me, it's quite hard to go back to a comedy with a laughter track and stuff like that. It just seems like it's so staged and false now. And I think it's just, everyone's feeling that as well, because most of the best comedies have now just went ahead and not bothered with that canned laughter as concept.
Yeah, we really like the 3 or 4 of the writers. I mean, most of the people on it really have a love for The Simpsons too. Certainly my brother and I, and Robin and Reggie and my ex-wife and all these people. We love The Simpsons. We love other cartoons like that. And we love how much they can pack in to an episode without all that laugh track. Obviously, you don't put a laugh track on a movie, but we didn't like the idea of set up, punchline, quippy remark, set up punchline. You know, we wanted to build them a little bit differently than that and have it come out of just repartee. You know, so I like snappy dialogue, and whenever we could do that, that was my favorite part. And letting people do their improv and get good lines out of that. You know, we have some really gifted, talented people, Anthony and Max and all these other players that are really great. And Tilt Tyree is awesome at that stuff. He worked himself into a bunch of scenes he had no business being in, which was great.
Yeah, that's it. I suppose it was the whole idea of the sort of American sitcom, which was like a formula, wasn't there? Of you've got to have a laugh every 8 seconds or something like that, and it's quite well when you think about that. I mean, it's just sort of because of the laughter track, it kind of ticks along. So you think that you're watching something funny and you're being entertained, but you're actually not really. And I've seen some really funny videos that when you watch Friends without the laughter track, it's really odd and quite unsettling, if that makes sense.
No, it's the perfect word for it. It's bizarre and it doesn't feel real. Everything just feels so staged. I mean, obviously it's literally on a stage, but yeah, you watch, I've seen the Big Bang Theory with that sort of, when they take out the laughter track, and it's painful. It's cringy. It's cringy in the worst sort of way to watch that, because it just doesn't feel like anyone's actually having a conversation or real things are happening in any way, shape, or form. It's painful. And I hate that sort of thing. So we definitely try to figure it out in a different sort of way, pack as many jokes as possible into the time we had without ever calling attention to most of them. Just have them just sort of disappear. And that's what we like, because then maybe you watch it the second or third time and maybe you get a little bit more than you did the first time. There's definitely a number of hidden things that I hope once you watch it once, you have room to explore other stuff. That was my goal always.
Yeah, Friends without the laughter track, it's like Ross is like a serial killer and Joe is like a sleazy at best. And yeah, man, it's strange that I think that there has been such a big push towards it. All the comedies have got a lot better, and hopefully the end of the laughter track will be gone. It'll fizzle out in our lifetime. Here's hoping anyway. But yeah, man. So how did you get all the actors involved? You said it's a talented crew you've got. What else have they been involved in? Is there anything that we might know them from?
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that are on it are friends. You know, it's just a group of friends that we all have done stuff together and worked in a variety of ways. So local production people here in Fresno, California, and then sort of a number of people coming from a Hollywood clique that I was also involved in. So that's been really great. We did cast some. We have Richard Speight Jr. is in it. I worked with him on another movie. He's from Supernatural and Band of Brothers, some other shows that people have seen him in a lot. Got a lot of airplay as a Pepsi Max guy a few years ago on the Super Bowl and all that. And then we got the kid from one trippy thing is the kid that you saw in the trailer. His name is Jaden Sand. He was actually in the Lego movie. And so while we were shooting our movie, we did some of his scenes, half his scenes, then we took a break. And then when he came back on a set, his mom was like, oh yeah, he worked on another thing that was like bricks related. And we had no idea what he was talking about. He shot his scenes and we were done. And then the movie came out. It was the Lego movie. He's the kid in the Lego movie with Will Ferrell at the end of the movie. So that was pretty amazing that turned out that way. And a little tough for me to watch in the theater because my movie wasn't done yet. And he'd been in my movie first, our movie. So, you know, that's the story.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's a trip. I got you in triplicate. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. There's three of me. We got some comments coming in from Petra. It says, my prize Lego is an Andy Murray with a gold Olympic medal holding his racket and winking. Love it.
There you go. Yeah, we made some custom minifigs, they call those, the little characters. We made a custom one for this movie for our character Wyatt. So that'll be pretty fun. That's going out. If you buy a specific version of it, the Brickmaster edition, then you get one of those. They're quite pricey, so I can't give them out to everyone, but they're fun.
Amazing. So have you made one of your own one yet?
I haven't made one for me. No, I'm probably about 8th or 9th on the list, but I got to get the other characters taken care of first. That might be a little egomaniacal of me to print out one of myself yet.
Petra says that she got hers in a charity shop. We've got Blended Glasgow in the house. That was earlier on. Endless crime. Hashtag decriminalisation. I think we can agree with that. Justin, what about your Oh, Joe McCann says that has more personality than Andy Murray.
Nice.
Nice, yeah. Well, Andy Murray was actually filmed quite recently reacting to Scotland qualified for, I believe you call it soccer.
Yep.
Soccer. The soccer European Championships. And we haven't qualified for a major finals since 1998. So the whole of Scotland was... Hold on, I'm going to take one of these away. Sorry, just... This one.
Lost you. There you are.
Yeah,
you're back. Yeah, that's cool. Congrats on that.
Well, thank you. I feel like it was all me, you know. But
you play all the positions.
Oh, I do. I trained them well. I taught them well. But yeah, Andy Murray was filmed celebrating. In fact, let's just we've got the internet. We can just go and watch it. Can't we? And but yeah, he kind of gets the reputation for not having a personality, as Joe said. Celebrates Scotland, Celebration Scotland. Here it is, yeah. So we can watch that. I think celebrates Scotland football team. But I've always wondered about Andy Murray's ma. You know, Andy Murray's ma. She seems to, you know, she's always like, play tennis. And Andy Murray was always like, I don't want to play tennis. And she's like, play tennis. And he's like, I just want to take my girlfriend out to the mall. And, you know, the mall. And she's like, play tennis. Play tennis with your brother. Even though he's good. I don't want to say his brother's shite. His brother's no shite at tennis. I can't find that. Do you know what? I can't find it. We're not here to play tennis. We're here to talk about movies. So, what else? What other films have you done, man? What other films? I noticed that you've done the Organized Chaos.
Yeah. The yes, the Art of Organized Noize. Man, it took me a second. The Art of Organized Noize is a movie we did a few years ago, and those are the producers. The Organized Noize is the name of the producing group, 3 dudes, and that was in Georgia and Atlanta, and they did, you know, TLC's Waterfall and a bunch of Outkast songs, Killer Mike songs, that sort of stuff, part of the Dungeon. That was great. That was a documentary. We were in there for a few days working on that. We got a bunch of the documentary done, got to interview some really brilliant people, some high profile, talked to Ludacris, some other American rappers that were really fun. So yeah, that was and that was on Netflix, and that was a big deal. It's a good movie. I would recommend that. Fun.
On Netflix just now?
I don't think it's on there anymore because we tried to watch it the other day and it's not, so I'm not sure what they've done with it, but it was, I remember when it came out, it was on the front page for a month or something like that. It was pretty primo at that point, but I'm not sure where it's at right now.
Outkast. Wow. Yeah. Outkast are incredible. TLC Waterfalls. And that song means a lot to me because I remember once going to a festival called Belladrum, and I arrived on the Saturday night. Now in Scottish festivals, I don't know what the music festivals are like in California. Probably a little bit different in Scotland because we have got the pub culture thing. So when you get normally a festival's on until Monday, but I arrived Saturday night, had a good night, had a couple hours sleep. I got woken up to get out festival. It's all over. You've got to go. And I was in the wrong tent, and I didn't have my keys, didn't have my wallet. It was raining, and I got flung out of the festival site. Everyone was to leave. I eventually managed to hitch a lift with a woman who I'd met briefly and a few of her friends. She said that she could take me to Perth. And I said, that's good enough. That's on the way to Glasgow. So I got the lift to Perth. And then 5 minutes into that, the car broke down. And we just stuck on a road in the rain for a long time with a hangover, waiting for someone to save the day. Someone did save the day eventually. And when we turned the engine on, the first song that played, we knew we were going home, was Waterfall by TLC.
Nice. So sounds like Woodstock. Sounds like you were at Woodstock. The car breaking down, it's raining, it's a mess, you're 5 miles out. Yeah.
I go to Woodstock every weekend when COVID's not ruining our lives. We have in Scotland we have a Woodstock from Thursday to Monday every week. We recover. We eat soup on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you're at Woodstock, and then Woodstock kind of moves around. That's the Scottish way of doing it. It wasn't TLC Waterfall, it was TLC No Scrubs.
There you go. Okay.
So is that actually that story might not have had any value at all? Is that did the guy also do No Scrubs, or was it only Waterfall that did?
I don't know for sure. I know they did other TLC songs as well, so very possibly. Yeah.
Let's just pretend.
It was No Scrubs. It was definitely No Scrubs. Now I'm thinking about it. I remember, and they made that, and then they mentioned you when we were interviewing you. They're like, we know this goes out to all our fans out there who are stuck in traffic and got a broke down car. Yeah.
Stuck in a Scottish equivalent of Woodstock with people you don't know. And then the good news is that I made it back to Perth. And when I got to pub, I know there's some Perth people tuned in tonight. I went to a place called the Green Room, and there was my drummer. He was at the bar. So it was a happy ending. It was a happy ending. We've got some comments coming in. My dad, what could I have done? My dad used to make wee Lego models of the houses we stayed in. Brick for brick, it was perfect. My mum thought he was off his head, but I was always fascinated with how great they were and the patience involved. What is the coolest, most complex Lego structure you have seen?
Recently I saw, oh man, what was it? I think it was a Ferrari or a Lamborghini maybe, and it was like piece for piece, and it could actually roll, and it was made with, a lot of things that aren't just bricks, more complicated pieces within the Lego world, and it was like a functioning car, full-size car. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever seen built. That was awesome. But we have some really fun, intricate, interesting ideas of what get built in our world and in the movie. And so, I was one of the competitors within the movie, and I didn't build the thing that I was shown competing with. But when those things showed up on set, I was really super stoked to get that and be like, oh, this is what I made. Theoretically, I've been trying to make a movie and you guys are building this stuff for us. So, I mean, that was fun. And yeah, those are incredible. And we're trying to stay within the bounds of like what could be made in a couple hours, and within the movie world, we don't want something that's 10 foot tall that someone supposedly made in the last hour and a half. That wouldn't have made any sense. So they had to fit within those, but they were super fun. Castles was one of the round, and it got very, very eclectic and very creative of what a castle could be. So that was fun.
I noticed in the mockumentary, in the trailer, you said that the person's idol, one of the greats of the bricks world, has been accused of glue.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened in real life? There's been glue accusations.
I don't know. There's not that many competitions in the same way, but it is definitely forbidden. You don't want to be ever gluing anything. There's no reason to. You got to have it stand on its own, and it's got to be something that can live under its own power. So gluing is definitely looked down upon. If you had the real sort of competition that we have in the movie, then I think it would be that's as terrible as we make it out in the movie to be. Yeah, it's like steroids or something.
Do they ever have like extreme versions where it's got to take a dun, like a hit, like Lego that can stay Lego after it's been
one thing I would say is they two stories. When you actually go to Legoland in San Diego and that sort of thing, I think they have a little bit different way to do that, because those things are meant to be up for, years at a time or whatever. So they might be using some adhesive there. I don't actually know about that. But we used to do crash cars. So when I was like 8-10 years old, we'd make crash cars. So we'd make the strongest thing we could make on wheels and then just throw them at each other as fast as we could and see who's exploded the most. And so that was something that we got really good at. And they were strong enough. You could use an 8-year-old me. I could use them as a skateboard because they were burly enough. So those were really fun. I know we did it in class one time. I remember my friend Chris Scott in maybe second grade, he brought his, and I already knew how to do it. I had it real figured out because my older cousin or whatever knew. Anyway, we did them in class one morning, and his shattered everywhere. And all the first graders or whatever it was looked around. I think we might have gotten in trouble, but yeah, crash cars, those are fun.
I like the way that you started that sentence with "when you go to Legoland." Like when you go, and it just filled me with hope that I might get out of this place. I've been stuck here since March, and the idea of going to Legoland, I've always wanted to go to Legoland.
Yeah, it's a cool place for sure. They got incredible stuff there. You know, builders. I know some of the builders that work there, and yeah, it's unbelievable what they can make out of these. They're art forms, you know, just like anything else.
How do you get a job in Legoland?
I think you have to show that you've been doing it for a long time and that you love doing it, and that you've been maybe conventions and you have a breadth of work to show, just like you would for anything else. That brings me to my next story, which is our Carl Merriam. So a guy named Carl Merriam's in the movie. He plays Rupert Clough, and he also now works at Lego. So he designs sets at Lego. He's a master builder over there. And he made most of the stuff in the movie, a lot of the stuff along with Jason Wada and some other people. So yeah, it's been quite a whirlwind of how these people came in and went out of our movie. It's really great.
Would you work for Lego? Would you like to one day work for Lego?
I am nowhere near talented enough at that to be able to do that. No, not a chance.
Nah.
No.
What about maybe one day? Maybe.
If in an alternate world where I spent some more time doing that,
is it a young man's game? Is there, you know?
I don't know about that. I think you could get it at any age you're creative. I mean, Carl's only a couple years younger than I am. Yeah, I don't think that's the issue. It's just a matter of having done it your whole life. You know, I did it when I was a kid a lot, up until I was like 12, 13, 14. And then they call it the dark ages. So times that you get out of it and you go do the rest of life, and then hopefully you come back to it. That time in between would be called the dark ages. So I've been trying to make a damn movie for 11 years. I haven't had as much time to play with Lego as I would like, but I think after this, because I've amassed some from going to the conventions and all that, I'll have a little bit more to play with.
I've got the trailer set up for the Art of Organized Noize.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So just to let people see this, because we've got quite a lot of, we've had some really good hip hop guests on. We've had the likes of Brother Ali, B. Dolan, Sage Francis, Sarok. So I know that there is a hip hop crossover here. So I'm going to play this. Like we said, we don't know. It was on Netflix. It's no longer on Netflix, but check it out.
How big
and you can
did Organized
find
Noize
out.
the only time in history that a hip hop act won a Grammy for Album of the Year. A diamond album, mind you, is a direct result of the work and the leadership of Organized Noize.
Organized Noize was huge.
Organized Noize.
They were very original. Organized Noize, man.
They are responsible for creating a completely new sound.
We at the dungeon. Rico Wade house.
The dungeon.
The dungeon.
You would have at least 15 to 20 guys in the bottom of a basement filled up.
We saw young brothers like Big Boy and Dre. They had skill. They like, we want to bust.
They raised us. We were like 16, 17 years old. You have nothing but my undying loyalty, love, and respect.
We all believed in each other, and we knew what we had. Because they believed in me, I believed in them. We all knew we were going to make it. We just didn't know when.
The Interscope deal was a $20 million deal.
To work with them changed my life.
I feel very lucky and blessed to even know them.
That was the genius of Organized Noize, straight up.
We made history there. Young, successful.
It took TLC from 2 million to 11 million, all because of that one song.
Don't go chasing boys.
Rich, famous.
I would protest if they're not in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Organized Noize, man, that's legend.
They were smoking before Snoop Dogg was smoking.
Sex, drugs, fucking rock and roll.
They were very original. They rarely used samples.
Meshing hard-ass beats with live instrumentation.
They were the biggest thing going.
It was a bunch of pressure.
We left 17 million on the table.
Sleepy's over here doing this, Rico's over here doing that. I had to walk away there.
They didn't have to do so much for us anymore because their first students learned how to do also the music for themselves.
That aided in the demise of the sound.
Them niggas actually said out their mouth, they won't do this album by themselves.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
That was
arrogant as shit. I gave you your opportunity.
Check this out. What you think about ain't nobody dope as me? I'm just so.
Man, I feel like every producer today has a little bit of that organized noise DNA within them.
There's a lot of artists now who want to be weird. These artists wasn't trying to be weird. This is who they were.
We were overdue.
Everything comes full circle.
We want to get our feet back wet again.
That's coming back right now.
This is our second coming, man. We better take full advantage of this one. I never heard of a third coming.
Strange mood of our time.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
We're live, as you call that, radio, TV. Apologies for the audio visual problems today. I don't know why, but I've had to move to a phone format. And so apologies if the visuals or the audio aren't as good as normal. And special apologies to Justin, who is my long-suffering special guest this evening. Man, that film looks amazing. And we've got Jigsaw Tiger is saying that as well. So it was on Netflix.
Yeah, just to be clear, I was one of the DPs on that project. I was not the director on that project. My good buddy Joshua Krause worked on it along with QD3 Quincy Jones III. So yeah, it was super fun. Great to meet all those guys. And yeah, I recommend the movie if you can find it wherever you can find it. Give it a look because it's a pretty great story for sure.
And I was just looking at your IDMB, and also it was Bardo Blues. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Bardo Blues. We shot that Marcia Kimpton's project. So a director, writer, producer we've been working with for a number of years now. And we went to Thailand for that. That was, 4 years ago, I guess now. And yeah, that was a great time. A lot of fun over there in Thailand. Work with a lot of the local crew. It's drama, emotional, a thriller with some pretty crazy sort of spiritual, metaphysical ideas going on there. Really a fun movie, or really a deep sort of profound movie. If you're the type of person that would like it, you're really going to like it for sure. And I think it's got stuff for everyone.
What was there ever a film that inspired you that made you say, I want to get involved in making something myself?
Well, I think, from my perspective, it's like you watch some films and then you feel like you could never do anything that good, or just the scope of that, but you still want to try. So movies like maybe Apocalypse Now or Clockwork Orange, some of those 70s movies that I really love. But then there's some other movies that seem more attainable. So at the time when I was coming up, the movie Clerks, the Kevin Smith movie Clerks, definitely felt doable. Something like Slacker or Dazed and Confused, like those seem very doable. Like I could go out and make that myself. And so those inspire you, but then you want to have that high benchmark also. Like maybe eventually I could shoot something similar to that. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels out of the UK. That's one of my favorites too.
That was a brilliant film, man. I remember that. It was huge when it came out. I suppose another kind of film that was, I think that was for me when I started doing filmmaking was just as a kid to watch was Blair Witch Project, and just the way, seeing how that was shot, I didn't actually watch the full film, but the idea of it, just the idea is exciting. Just the fact that you can do something low budget. And there's a comedian in Scotland called Limmy who's very funny, and there was just certain things he did that was on a low budget, which made me just sort of question, because I think a lot of time as an artist, whether that's in music or in film, regardless of what you dip your toe into, there's always a point where you think, if I had this, I would be able to do that. And you always sort of dream of having better equipment, better money, a bigger crew and stuff. And it's just really inspiring when you see someone doing something alone or doing something with a skeleton crew or without much money. And it makes you inspired. You might as well go and do something instead of just sitting in the huff, raging that you've got no money.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go out there and shoot. You got to do something. You got to test your ideas. I remember saying when I was 20 or whatever, if someone would just give me the money, they would see how great this movie was. And then I ended up making that movie, and most people didn't think it was very great. So I was probably totally wrong at that situation. But you have to test those things. You have to put them into the real world, see what people like and what people don't like, and then refine your approach and develop your own voice and see what actually works for you. So that's definitely the process. I don't think being handed money is a very good thing in a lot of situations. It certainly can be, but it can also bite you in the ass and be a terrible burden to bear.
I seen one of your interviews. You were saying, I think you were giving a speech to what I'm assuming was maybe a college class, and you were talking about the cost of getting a new lens and stuff like that, and how it's maybe there's maybe a bit too much read into all that stuff, and it sounds more important.
Yeah, sound is definitely important. People will chalk up any visual sort of incongruency or issues to creative ideas. They don't really ever chalk bad sound to that. So bad sound that is either peaky or scratchy or echoey or distant or any of that shit, that's always bad. That's never a creative decision unless it's like very clearly within the movie create for other reasons, but people don't put up with that. And furthermore too, I would rather spend money on, if I could spend money on a lens, like renting a new lens or curtains to make the room look better, I would choose curtains like 99 times out of 100, because usually that's what sets you apart is the production design and the other stuff that's happening in the frame, not the slight differences between technical stuff of the gear you're using. That usually doesn't have that much of effect, in my opinion.
What do you think about this? Obviously, this is a bad example because I'm using a phone. It's quite confusing. I've got different screens. Like I'm on this screen as well. So let's just get this frame. So I've got like a little ring light. Do you think I should get curtains for here? Curtains in the background. Do you think that would make things better?
I think you got one on the left. You got a nice throw rug over there. Yeah, there you go. Now it's a better shot. Now you're more interesting.
Do you think that makes me more interesting? I thought it was like to even it out. Like I thought this was a bit more, evenly balanced.
No. It's the point of this is not looking at a curtain on this, because you're not really telling a story with the curtain. The only thing we need to tell the story here is you, and hopefully me or whoever else is sitting in my chair. Yeah, you call that radio.
Tony Sign. I have got a green screen. It needs an iron. It needs a wee iron. But yeah, I'm going to try that out. I tried it before and it didn't go very well, but that was because it was just a shite computer. But I've upgraded the computer. Believe it or not, the technical issues are just because I pressed a button. I'm talking to the wrong one. Sorry, you're there. So I've got a camera there and I've got a screen there and I've got here. So yeah, man, someone's actually commented to say green screen. Marco is saying, I wonder if we're related, Justin.
Oh shit. That's cool. Yeah, there's very few I think I'm the only Justin McAleece in all of America, and I haven't heard of another one in the world. So that's crazy.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, that's awesome. I know that our name did change. So the CE and SE. So the former Prime Minister or President of Ireland had a son named Justin McAleece. Mary McAleece, I think was her name, maybe. But that's spelled with an S, not with a C. And I think somewhere around 1842, we looked at genealogy. Somewhere around there, we went from Scotland to Ireland, and it got changed from S to C. So I don't know.
I think he did as well. I think he did.
That's pretty neat. That's great. Yeah, you should tell that person to find me. Well, he's gonna. Yeah, that's
find him, Marco. Find him. I know Marco. He's on my. We know Marco.
Tell him to hit me up on Facebook. Yeah, hit me up on Facebook, Justin McAleece.
Yes. See, there's me all worried about my technical issues. The fact that there's two. I fucked it. I've got rubbish sound. I've got rubbish cameras. And then there's me bringing long lost family members together.
We did it. We accomplished it. Something important today. Finally.
Yeah.
There, I took a screenshot. Now I got him.
Yeah, brilliant. We got. You call that radio Lego brick? Do you know someone that could make me a you call that radio Lego brick?
Probably. We could probably figure that out. Yeah, you get me on the show again. Yeah, I'll come back next time to unveil it.
Well,
It'll be great.
Do you know what? We'll get you back on the show. We'll get you on for the pub quiz because they're quite a busy night.
Oh.
So we'll maybe try to get you on so you can maybe write up a film and TV round of questions, and then you
That
can
sounds
see
fun.
me. You can see me with a few beers in me. I've been off it for a couple of months, but that won't last forever. When it's pub quiz night, it does last a while. It's beer, 6 hours of beer. The pub quiz nights. Petra says, tell Justin about Syllable and Brains. Well, I don't know if you'd be interested in that, but maybe. So Syllable and Brains is if you look up, you call that radio, Syllable tells a story of it. But basically, he was in a film called The Great Hip Hop Hoax, which is a great film, and it's about Scottish guys trying to get a record deal, and they get laughed at because of their Scottish accent. So they put on an American accent, and they get signed to a major record label and go on tour with Eminem. And they just made it all up, and they got away with it for a long time. So it's called The Great Hip Hop Hoax, and we had Syllable on the show about 2 months ago or something like that. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out, man. I think from a filmmaker's point of view, it's an interesting story and it's very well done. And of course, it's a good thing.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I love it. Anyone who can figure out a way to get in there and something that they shouldn't be, catch me if you can style. I love it. Yeah, I'd be all about it.
Lindsay Stewart wants to know, have you ever heard of the Grangemouth bricks? Oh no, I think hold on. The Glen Boyd bricks. Are you talking, Lindsay? You talking about the Glen Boyd bricks? So the Glen Boyd bricks is they're bricks that no longer are made, but there was an undercover team who busted an illegal rave, and they were quite upset about the fact that there was Glen Boyd bricks. So the bricks weren't licensed; it was unlicensed bricks, and so there's all these people in a rave, and they're all listening to bang bang music after 3 o'clock in the morning, and the newspapers were raging. Because people in Scotland aren't allowed music after 3 o'clock in the morning, man. We're not allowed.
Not allowed, huh? Yeah. No way. Okay.
You can't even buy a can of beer after 10 o'clock in Scotland. You know, you can't. Can you get beer at 10 o'clock?
It depends where you are. Yeah, it depends where you are. I think you can buy alcohol if you have a convenience store, a 24/7 convenience store. I don't think there's a limit on that in California, at least. You can't serve alcohol in a beer after 1:30. I think it is because the bars all close at 1:30 or 2 here in America, in California.
12.
But we have different rules everywhere. So there's dry counties. So there's other counties, back in the South and everything, Southeast, that you have to go to a package store. You can only buy it in specific ways. You can't buy it on Sunday. There's a bunch of different rules depending on where you go. Yeah.
We used to have that, but it was I think it was for religious reasons. And then everyone sort of agreed that it's not that religious a country, so we'll bring back the beer on Sundays. But it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You can't get a beer before 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
You can't get a beer after 10 o'clock at night, but you can go to a bar, you can go to a pub. Pubs usually shut at 12. And I don't know why I don't think you need to know any more about that, but that's the general rundown. If you ever come into Glasgow or Scotland, that's you kind of got some rules that you can stick to. No, hold on. No, this was Grangemouth. A few employees of Borg Warner made their own version of Lego bricks. They're highly collectible. Right, I didn't know that, Lindsay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Glen Boyd bricks.
I'll look up into those too. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
saved.
No, I think Grangemouth is the ones you want to look up. The Glen Boyd ones you won't find much information on, apart from if you look up the Unmasking the Party People on the Call That Radio YouTube channel.
Okay.
You'll find a little bit more about the Glen Boyd bricks, but the Grangemouth bricks seems like a real thing. They might actually have real stuff going on. And Joe McCann says, yes, pub quiz. Will do, bro. You had green curtains, remember? I had green curtains. At one point, we did try and do the green screen thing, and I didn't do very well. The computer couldn't handle it. It just made everything cut off, man, so it didn't work. But we're going to come back. We're going to do it. We're going to iron the curtains. the Iron Curtain. And we're going to go, and this is, yeah, man, I think we're just going to hype up this film, man. So let's just one more time hype up the film. I've got a wee banner for you. It's this. Where is it? It didn't work. This should work this time. I'm trying to bring a banner on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, there we go. BrickMasterMovie.com. Yeah. That is absolutely where you can go. You can find out more about it there. You can like us on Facebook, go to Instagram, any of those things. And littlesisterent.com. That's where you can buy it right now if you want to get it on Blu-ray or DVD, the Brickmaster edition. I think it's hilarious, probably because I made it and probably because I'm in it and all my friends are in it. And I think they're really good at it. And I am enormously grateful at what they were able to do and put on screen because I think it's a fun, entertaining, hilarious movie. So I would say anyone out there who's looking for something a little bit different than you would find from the Hollywood machine and funny in a different sort of way, definitely go out there and look for Brick Madness either now or when it comes out on Amazon or later on iTunes or any of the other streaming platforms. It's I think it's going to be worth your time.
Brilliant stuff, Justin. We'll tell you what I think we'll do is then I'm going to watch those films and get you back on once I've seen them.
Beautiful.
I think that'd be good. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy.
Amazing, mate. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thanks for having tuned in. We're back tomorrow night with the Cabba Rave twin duo. That is My Bad Sister. They've toured with the Pet Shop Boys for 18 months, but now they're going to finally make it to You Call That Radio TV. We've got Chris Herring on Thursday. We've got Joy France, who's went from retired teacher to international battle rapper. What a story.
I gotta look her up. Yeah, I gotta look her up. Yeah, she looks crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
She just does what she wants, mate. She just does what she wants. Jigsaw Tiger says, great chat, guys. Thank you. Look forward to seeing them. Joe McCann's going to check out. Support those independent movies. You know, because we've got a bit of thing. We like to support independent, underground stuff here. So we don't watch Hollywood films. We support local. So even if local is very, very far away, we're still going to support that. Thank you very much, Justin. Check out Brick Madness, the movie, and we will see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
Bye.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons.